We're rolling. Timer starts now. Mark. Hi, I'm Ford.
And I'm Sky. And these are not our real names. These are our superhero names, and with our powers combined, we formed the writing partnership L. Skyford. Welcome to Booklandia.
You've joined us today for a Minisode, where we will geek out about literary topics like plot and character tropes, and maybe some book news. But before we get much further, did you know you can watch our faces do this episode by subscribing to us on Twitch at L. Skyford or YouTube at L.Skyford? You should do it. We give good face.
And sometimes there's a dog bomb at Ford's house.
This is true. For our other socials, you can follow us on Twitter at SkyfordL, on Instagram at L.Skyford. And if you're interested in our book, blog, or even more book reviews, head over to our website, lskyford.com.
Lastly, this and every episode are chock full of oversharing and spoilers, and every episode is rated E for explicit. You have been warned.
I seriously considered starting this episode with some crazy declaration like, help, I'm in danger! Because today we're going to talk about the trope partners in danger. And we are partners. And I thought it was going to be funny. And then I was like, this might be traumatizing since I didn't prepare you for it.
Okay, I appreciate that you thought better of it. I did see you try to set up a different camera angle, and I almost switched the screen so that everyone can witness the delight. And then I thought maybe I should wait to see how this plays out. So there we are.
We'll plan surprises better in the future.
That sounds like an excellent plan. So we are talking about partners in danger. In case that isn't clear by itself, it's when two people are thrown together by action-packed circumstances. And while the adrenaline is high, so are horny hormones. And so...
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So
adrenaline and the dopamine and the serotonin, all the good ones.
All the good ones live together in the same part of the brain, and it goes directly to their junk. And then their junk does its stuff.
Yep. And danger usually also means forced proximity. So you're stuck somewhere together, alone. There's usually a lot of I'm going to protect you kind of vibes, which take them or leave them. But I don't know. The adrenaline is fun. It does open up the question of what happens when the adrenaline is over. How can two people stay together once the danger has passed? Is this just situational love?
And I feel like I'm blanking completely on what book really talks about that. But there is a conversation out there about, whether or not once the adrenaline is gone, once the high of the chase is gone, whether or not that couple has longevity beyond the immediacy of it. I feel like that conversation might have been somewhere that had to do with romances that have to do with being on a show together, because not the same levels of adrenaline, not for the same reasons, but there are a lot of couples in entertainment that break up when they're no longer working together, I think for similar reasons.
Yeah.
So for me, it sort of, it's really exciting. I do love, most, if you think about 1990s blockbuster movies, most notably Speed, right?
Sure.
They end up together for no reason other than they survived a scary thing together. And that's what Die Hard, right? Yeah, it binds. In Die Hard, they were married before the terrible things happened.
But they were getting a divorce. They were separated. It wasn't going well.
It's true.
Nakatomi Plaza happened. So
we digress from books into movies.
Die Hard is never a digression, but yes,
you are preaching to the Die Hard choir here. Totally fine with that. So I think they're super fun, but I do feel like I have recently enjoyed when they have a conversation about long-term effects of what they're going through. And it sort of becomes slightly more self-evident when we talk about examples, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel the same way with straight up regular romances where they fall in love in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. I'm just like, is this gonna last? So let's go to examples of
yeah, no, I totally agree. Okay, so OG Partners in Danger, Bonnie and Clyde. Thelma and Louise. It was never really a book. We're back in movies, but like Bonnie and Clyde, Thelma and Louise.
This is the Minisode of digressions. I'm almost sure of it at this point.
Perfect. So that's essentially it, right? They did crime together, they stayed together, the sexual chemistry was a lot, and so was the brain chemistry.
Could an argument be made for another OG being Jane Eyre? Because the wife in the attic is always trying to kill somebody or burn the house down, and then she succeeds. It's not constant danger like some of our more recent contemporary examples are going to be, but I feel like there's an argument that could be made there.
Okay, wow. All right, I did not think about that, but yeah, house does burn down. You're right.
And she stabs him or something, and I don't know. The wife in the attic.
The OG partner in danger. She's more of the force of nature forcing them together. That's what the wife in the attic is.
Very
so
true.
In more recent examples, firstly, I feel like we have 2 Sulika Snyders on this list. And I feel like maybe this is her subgenre. This is her trope that she utilizes
where
a lot.
She's most comfortable.
Yes, because Tika Chance on Me, though they are not partners in danger, he is constantly in dangerous situations, and it can put her in a dangerous situation. It doesn't. He prevents it from happening, but he has a very dangerous job. And then
that's also a short story. So if you're like, I don't know, that's a good one to jump in on because it's Trey short.
There's also a lot of conversation about food in that short story, so don't read it hungry. There's a lot of food. She works in a restaurant, and they eat a lot, which is wonderful. The other Sulika Snyder that's on our list is Big Bad Wolf, which is the first in her series, in her new series. That the cover for the next one has been revealed, and it is equally as hot as Big Bad Wolf.
Yep.
It's totally nonsensical, but I sort of love it anyways. They're sticking with a theme, and it is called
that series. Oh yeah, go ahead. Pretty Little Lion.
Pretty Little Lion. I think that's what it is. Exactly.
And then the series is called Third Shift.
Yes. And it's so there the premise is entirely that they are running away from being killed together for various reasons, and are stuck in a safe house for a while together, get very sexy up against a courthouse building while being shot at. Like there's some danger banging in an alley. So danger banging happens more than once. At one point, he's being starved by the Russian mob, and she shows up to, I'm going to say, relieve the tension. So
she
all
feeds
of that.
him.
Oh boy.
Physically. Oh gosh.
So that happens.
We're expecting just as much sexiness from Pretty Little Lion.
Yes. I think my ultimate review of that book was, it wasn't quite what I wanted, but I am so excited for this world that I am very excited to read more in that series and get the other characters more fleshed out. But it absolutely is about people in a very stressful situation trying to survive this stressful situation and using their sexual attraction to each other to relieve some of the stress, that they do start talking about loving each other and being forever. And that to me feels harder to swallow, because how do you know? Your brain is flooded with adrenaline.
Yes. Yep. Hard agree. Another one down this sort of action-packed line of thinking is a new series by Samantha Shannon called The Adair Family. The first book
Samantha
is called
Young.
Here. So, oh, yep. What? Yep. Oh, yeah. Samantha Young. The other Samantha. So sorry.
I mean, having said
I
that, Samantha Shannon's mime order is also Partners in Danger.
I'm look, my Freudian slip was really correct. So true Freud. So yes, Samantha Young, Adair Family. First book was called Here with Me. Next book is There with You, I think is what it's called.
Yes, there with
In the
you.
first book, Robin is a cop coming to reignite her relationship with her dad. She falls for the hot actor millionaire that her dad protects. So go listen to our Royals episode because it falls in under that trope as well. And the actor is being stalked by a psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Also, go listen to our episode on Here with Me, because we did a whole episode about it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's a really funny part where we say, if you don't want spoilers, skip this part, and then we never spoil anything. And so we say, hey, if you skip that part, go back, because we actually very carefully didn't reveal the who the psycho killer is. So yes, if you want to find out how we try, first we warn you that we're not going to tiptoe, and then we continue to tiptoe. It's very funny and intense moment. Speaking of Partners in Danger. But yeah, so if we circle back to Samantha Shannon and the Mime Order books, which there are 7 in that series, we're about halfway through that series in terms of her publication timeline, and they are Partners in Danger. They are being chased by the law. It is a science fiction, fantasy, otherworld, London dystopia.
Like,
There's
if
a
you really
lot.
if you liked London in V for Vendetta, it's that London but with magic.
Yes, and aliens.
And aliens. Yep. Yeah.
So it's really great, but yeah, they're thrown together, and I feel like their relationship has taken a very long time to develop and comes in fits and starts. And I do think it's because they actually pull back whenever they think that they're being thrown together by circumstance rather than by their interest in each other. So
yeah,
I do find that relationship to be really interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely, I do not care for the pullback. I want more pull in, as always. Give me more smut.
Well, and in that particular series, there is some questions about their biology and how sex actually works for them, because they are different species. So in case that's your jam.
We don't read a lot of alien romance. It is out there, but yeah. I'm gonna kick us to our next book, which will be Sanctuary by Rebecca Weatherspoon. She is running from a hit that is put on her. She goes to stay in the middle of buttfuck Egypt, and
to clarify, not in Egypt, in upstate New York.
Not actually. Yes. Look, it's not the city, as I know New York City snobs would say. So, and she finds a very stacked, handsome man to have adventurous sex with.
Very much so. That series, all 3 of those books, which are called Beards in Bondage, Bearded in Bondage. All 3 of those
in Bondage, I think.
Beards in Bondage. All 3 of those books start on a very violent incident. It just jumps right in, and it is very high octane. And then it forces the main character into making certain decisions to run away or to hide from or to discover, because in one of them the violent thing propels them to go on a search, something, but all three books start on like wah terrifying moment, and then everything else happens. So
Yeah.
but it's wonderful, it's extremely explicit. All three
Yeah.
books are it's
Smutty,
good.
smutty,
Oh,
smutty.
it is so spicy. It is so spicy in the best way. I constantly think about that series in terms of some of the things that are written into it and how well they are described. So in case you're looking for extremely spicy things, well, Rebecca Weatherspoon all the time, but Rebecca Weatherspoon in the context of Partners in Danger is definitely that series of three.
I think we did an episode about it, and I can't remember if we published that one or not. It might be on our IGTV if you scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yes.
Because it was before we became Booklandia. So, if you're interested in more about Sanctuary, look or tell us to look, and we'll look for you.
We did talk about Sanctuary on an episode, and the consent and the explicit sexual discovery and some of the ways in which, yes. Anyways, go find that episode or add us so we can share it with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think lastly, all I'm going to say is this is a pretty popular trope in paranormals. So if this is your jam, and you like aliens or fairies or werewolves or vampires, why are you not reading paranormal romance?
Truth.
So are you, dear audience human, gonna pick up this book now that you've heard our review? Let us know in the comments. Have a suggestion for another review? Slide on into our DMs.
If you like this adventure in books or updates on our upcoming projects, please follow, like, save, subscribe, rate, review us on Instagram at l.skyford, on Twitch at lskyford, and on Twitter at skyfordl. Phew. I'm Sky.
And I'm Ford. And that's it for this minisode. We will see you next time on Booklandia, where every book is a whole world to explore.